Chapter 2289. The group of people looked at Mo Yusheng, who was foolishly looking at the herbs in the courtyard, and felt helpless. Not only is this white tiger's contractor unable to cultivate, his intelligence is also stuck at a few years old. Yuyue, are you sure you can guide him to cultivate? When she looked at Sima Yuyue pitifully. Sima Yuyue sighed and said, we have to, even if we can't, we don't have any other choice. However, I don't think Yusheng is that simple. What did you discover? Bai Xiaofei asked. At this moment, he was not as cold as the first time they met. It was probably the happy life after marriage that chased away the coldness in his heart. He likes to refine pills and herbs. Not only that, he is very sensitive towards refining pills. He clearly has no spiritual energy, but he can feel others condensing pills. He is also very familiar with herbs. Sima Yuyue said, not to mention a person with an incomplete mind who cannot cultivate, even an ordinary alchemist would not be able to do this. You're saying that he might be like you, reincarnated in a corpse? Black Tortoise exclaimed. Sima Yuyue did not expect Black Tortoise to be able to calculate this. It seemed like they knew about her background. She nodded and said, I'm just guessing, I'm not sure. I can only say that he has secrets on him. And maybe these secrets are the reason why his mind is incomplete. Fu Shi said, we can't help you with these things, you can only find out by yourself. I'll have to trouble you. If there's nothing else, I'll bring him back. When we go back, we'll see if we can find the reason why he cannot cultivate. Sima Yuyue finished speaking and left. Mo Yusheng was sitting in the courtyard, looking and smelling the herbs that Sima Yuyue gave him. When he saw Sima Yuyue come out, he stood up and ran over happily, saying, Master, there's a very dense energy in here. Sima Yuyue looked at the herbs in his hands. She was very familiar with them. They could be used to refine 9th grade pills. Their grades were relatively high, but why didn't she feel any energy? Master? When Mo Yusheng saw Sima Yuyue staring at the herbs, he stuffed the herbs into her hands and looked at her happily. Every time she looked into his eyes, Sima Yuyue could not bear to reject him. She rubbed his head and said, the sound of the rain is really powerful. You can even sense the power within the medicinal ingredients. Hee hee. Mo Yusheng laughed even more happily after being praised. Let's go back to the academy. Sima Yuyue returned the herbs to him. Let's go back and study what this power is, okay? All right. Mo Yusheng nodded. Sima Yuyue turned around to look at the others before leaving with Mo Yusheng. Yuyue is really patient with him. Luckily, Lingyu has returned to the devil realm. Otherwise, the vinegar that he brewed would drown us. Black Tortoise said regretfully, as if he didn't see the show. Fu Shi rolled his eyes at him and left. He couldn't be bothered with this disrespectful old man. When Sima Yuyue brought Mo Yusheng back to the academy, she saw another black-clothed youth at the entrance of her courtyard. The youth stood at the entrance with his hands behind his back and looked at the small courtyard. When he heard movement behind him, he turned around to look at Sima Yuyue and Mo Yusheng. Seeing Mo Yusheng holding Sima Yuyue's sleeve, the youth's eyes flashed. He actually trusted someone so much. Mo Yusheng saw the black-clothed youth and excitedly let go of Sima Yuyue's sleeve. He ran over and hugged him, saying, Sixth brother, you're back to see Yusheng. Mo Yusheng patted Mo Yusheng's back and said, Father summoned me back, so I came to see you. Have you been happy during this period of time? Yusheng is very happy every day. Mo Yusheng let him go and pulled him in front of Sima Yuyue, saying, Sixth brother, this is my master. Master, sixth brother is here to see me. Sima Yuyue looked at this youth who was about the same age as Mo Yusheng. He wore the same clothes and had a similar face, but this youth seemed to have a maturity that surpassed his peers. Mo Yusheng looked at Sima Yuyue and then bowed, saying, Thank you for taking care of Yusheng. You are Mo Yusheng? Sima Yuyue asked. Yes. I heard that you have been guarding the imperial tomb. Yes. You're not going back this time, right? Yes. Sima Yue nodded and said, since you're here, then go in and sit. I also have some things I want to ask you. Mo Yusheng seemed to know what Sima Yue wanted to ask and followed her into the courtyard. Sixth brother, let me tell you, my master is very strong. She is even better at refining pills than Dong Li. Moreover, she also has a lot of medicinal herbs, all of which smell very comfortable. Sixth brother, master is very good to me. She is as gentle as mother and never fierce. Sixth brother, let me tell you secretly. Master won't stay here for long. If master leaves, what if I can't bear to part with her? Mo Yusheng had been listening to Mo Yusheng talk with a smile. Hearing this, he asked, how do you know? I just know. Mo Yusheng pouted and said, master has immortal energy on her body. How can a fairy with immortal energy stay here for long? You can see immortal energy from Yusheng? Then see if your brother has immortal energy on him? Mo Yusheng smiled. It's true. Sixth brother, you don't believe me. I believe you. I believe everything Yusheng says. Hee hee. Sima Yue heard Mo Yusheng's words and laughed silently. Yusheng, bring your sixth brother inside to talk. I'll go prepare some food for you guys. At this time, there was no food in the school. Sima Yue could not eat, but Mo Yusheng could not. She could only personally cook. Sixth brother, let me tell you. Master's food is very delicious. I ate it last night. It's better than anything I've eaten before. Mo Yusheng found a stool and sat down. Mo Yusheng moved a stool to his side and reached out to pull on his sleeve. Mo Yusheng saw his hand pulling on his sleeve and thought of how he pulled on Sima Yue's sleeve. Sima Yue finished cooking and let the two eat while she returned to her room. When Mo Yusheng knocked on the door, it was already late at night. Come in. Mo Yusheng heard the response from inside and pushed the door open. What he saw was a beauty leisurely reading under the light. He's asleep? Sima Yue raised her head and asked. Mo Yusheng nodded and walked over. He sat opposite her and said, I didn't expect Yusheng to have another master. Yusheng likes you a lot. I can see that he's very happy after meeting you. Yusheng is a simple child. Sima Yue said, you don't have to worry that I'll hurt him. But you do have other motives for him, don't you? Chapter 2290. Sima Yue stared at him. He stared back at her without a trace of fear in his eyes. Even if I do have ulterior motives, what will you do? She smiled. I want to know, what do you want him to do? Mo Yue asked, his mind is still that of a child and he doesn't know how to cultivate. He's just a useless person to you. If you want to use his identity as a prince, I should be more suitable than him. What if you lose your life because of this? Sima Yue asked. Mo Yue looked at Sima Yue. Her smile was so gentle, but she could easily say that someone would lose their life. She was like a poppy flower. It was so beautiful, but it made people feel cold. As long as Yusheng can be safe. Even if you want my life, so what? He said calmly, but firmly. If she really wanted his life in exchange for Yusheng's, he would definitely not hesitate. Sima Yue stared at his serious expression and smiled, saying, it's good that he has a brother like you. I didn't come because of his identity as a prince, but don't worry, I won't take his life. He has responsibilities that he should shoulder. I'm only here to let him shoulder them. Mo Yue was shocked by her words, but quickly accepted it, saying, as expected. You know that he's not ordinary, right? Sima Yue asked. Mo Yue nodded. It seems like you've noticed. Sima Yue said, what's the matter with him with medicinal ingredients? Mo Yue hesitated for a while, saying, I don't know either. I only know that he's been obsessed with medicinal ingredients since he was young. He's very obedient when he's with medicinal ingredients. That's all? Mo Yue nodded. His imperial mother said that when he was born, the sky was filled with light. Imperial father was very happy because of this, but later on, he found that his mind was stuck at a few years old, so he drifted away. Later on, his imperial mother died and I went to guard the imperial mausoleum. His days in the palace were not good. I thought of a way to get imperial father to allow him to live here. I don't know much else. Everyone says that the imperial family is heartless. Why are you so good to Yusheng? My life was not given birth by his mother, but it was given to me by his mother. Now that she's gone, I naturally have to take good care of him. Mo Yulai didn't elaborate, but Sima Yuyue guessed. They have good taste. Sima Yuyue praised them out of the blue. She had already guessed why Mo Yulai came back. As long as one combined the new student selection with the academy's situation, one would be able to understand the thoughts of the dean and the others. This Mo Yulai was indeed much better than the fourth prince Mo Yusher. Although it would be difficult to choose a prince with no power or influence, it was their last choice. Mo Yulai looked at her and said, "Can you tell me what you want Yusheng to do? What is his mission?" The mission on his shoulders is naturally the lives and future of all living beings in the world. Sima Yuyue said. Seeing him frown, she explained, "I'm not talking about the people in your country, but the whole world. Including your country, your continent, and all the other continents." Mo Yulai never knew that there were other continents outside of this one, but when she said this, he seemed to see a grand world. Wan Yen continent was only a very small part of it. "Did you come from outside?" he asked. "Yes. I came to this continent for Yusheng." "How long will you stay here?" "It depends on Yusheng's situation. When he can shoulder the responsibility, I will complete my mission." Sima Yuyue didn't know either, but she felt that it wouldn't be short. "When you leave, will Yusheng also leave?" "Yes." Sima Yuyue didn't hide it from him. Once Mo Yulai formed a contract with the White Tiger and woke it up, it would be considered a success. At that time, it would be time for the 4 divine beasts and the 4 ferocious beasts to settle the score. As the White Tiger's contracted beast, Mo Yulai naturally had to leave with it. She thought about what Black Tortoise and the others said. The White Tiger's injuries had already healed, but it was still sleeping. Only Mo Yulai's contract could wake it up. If Mo Yulai formed a contract early, then he wouldn't have the strength. When the time came, would he only be able to watch from the back? If they had to wait for him to become stronger before they could form a contract, then wouldn't they have to wait for a few hundred years? Sigh, what a headache. Mo Yulai didn't know about the countless twists and turns in her heart. He was still digesting the news that Mo Yulai was shouldering the world. The two of them were silent for a while. "Sixth brother, why are you here with master?" Mo Yulai appeared at the door, still rubbing his sleepy eyes. "Aren't you going to sleep with Yusheng?" "Sixth brother is here to chat with your master. I want to see if you are obedient here." Mo Yulai stood up and said to Sima Yuyue, "Thank you for your explanation. It's too late, I'll go over first." "Wait a moment." Sima Yuyue came to his side and tapped his forehead, saying, "You and I are fated. During the time I was in Wan Yen continent, I protected you. It would be a pity if such a good seedling died prematurely. More importantly, Clear Wind Academy would only be stable if he got up. When the academy was stable, she and Mo Yulai would have a better environment. If Mo Yulai died, it would be a blow to Mo Yulai." Mo Yulai only saw her tap lightly and a faint figure appeared in his sea of consciousness, looking at her suspiciously. "That's my soul imprint. During the time I was in Wan Yen continent, when your life was in danger, she would protect you. I would also sense it." Sima Yuyue said, "All right, you guys go back and rest." Mo Yulai was a little excited. When he agreed to the principal's request, it meant that his life would be in danger at any time. Although he was fearless, he didn't want to die for nothing and let those people succeed. Now that he had her soul imprint, his life would be safe for the time being. He bowed to her and then went to the door. He pulled Mo Yulai's hand and said, "Let's go back and rest." "All right. Master, you should sleep early too." Mo Yulai didn't forget to remind Sima Yuyue. Sima Yue waited for the two of them to leave before taking out a medicinal ingredient. This was the same medicinal ingredient that Mo Yulai said had power. She turned it over and over for a while, but still couldn't find any power. The next morning, Mo Yulai and Mo Yulai bid farewell. Sima Yue had already made breakfast. You're going back to the palace? Eat breakfast before you leave. Sima Yue sat down and started eating. Mo Yulai and Mo Yulai came over and the three of them ate breakfast together. As he drank the warm porridge, he felt that his heart, which had been cold for a long time, was also warm. He finally understood why Mo Yulai, who was always on guard against others, liked her so much. Chapter 2291. Mo Yulai left the small courtyard after eating breakfast and went to find the dean to discuss some matters. Before entering the palace, they had to make some preparations. Mo Yusheng sent him to the entrance of the small courtyard and pulled on his sleeve, unwilling to let him go. He only let go after Mo Yulai promised that he would visit him often. His eyes turned red as he stared at Mo Yulai's back. Sima Yue looked at his back and sighed. Yusheng, come here. Mo Yusheng came to Sima Yue's side. Sima Yue took out a handkerchief for him to wipe his tears. Are you worried about your sixth brother? She asked. Mo Yusheng nodded. Sixth brother is in danger. How do you know sixth brother is in danger? She asked again. Mo Yulai definitely wouldn't tell Mo Yusheng those things, so he had guessed it himself. Eldest brother and the others are very fierce. If sixth brother returns to the palace and doesn't leave, they will kill him. Mo Yusheng said. Then do you want to protect your sixth brother? Mo Yusheng fiercely nodded. If you want to protect sixth brother, you have to become strong. If you want to become strong, you have to cultivate. Sima Yue said. Mo Yusheng lowered his head and said dejectedly, I can't cultivate. I'm trash. Who said you're trash? You just can't cultivate for now. Did you forget that master couldn't cultivate before? As long as you find the reason why you can't cultivate and solve the problem, you'll be fine. Why don't you let master examine you and see why you can't cultivate? All right. Mo Yusheng nodded and followed Sima Yue into the room. Sima Yue sent her divine sense into his body and found that there was nothing wrong with his body. He wasn't poisoned, his meridians weren't blocked. The reason she guessed before didn't exist. His body was a perfectly normal body. Sima Yue searched his body for a long time before giving up and leaving. Master, did you find the reason? Mo Yusheng asked. Not yet. Sima Yue said, let's go to class first. We'll see if we can find out the reason when we come back, okay? All right. Sima Yue brought him to the classroom. Today, she was going to introduce some herbs to the students. These herbs were all rare and had different growth environments, harvesting methods, preservation methods, and refining methods. When she was teaching, Mo Yusheng stayed quietly at the back of the classroom, looking a little unhappy. After class, Sima Yue brought him back. She gave him some herbs and asked him to dry them in the courtyard. She gave him the medicinal ingredients that she had mentioned today, and they had to be handled very carefully. Originally, she thought that Mo Yusheng was absent-minded during class and wouldn't be able to handle them well. She didn't expect that he would be able to handle each of the medicinal ingredients extremely well. After drying the herbs, he squatted beside them and stared at them in a daze. Sima Yue took out her sound stone and contacted Fushi and the others. She told them about Mo Yusheng's situation. Are you sure there's nothing wrong with his body? Fushi asked. I checked in the morning. There's nothing wrong with him. Sima Yue said, not only is there no problem, his innate talent should be very good as well. However, he just can't sense any spiritual energy, let alone guiding spiritual energy into his body to cultivate. Then this is troublesome. Black Tortoise sighed. If they could find out what was wrong with his body, they would be able to prescribe the right medicine and let him start cultivating. However, his body didn't have any problems. What should they do? Can you guys calculate? Even if there's some direction, it'll be good. Sima Yue asked. No. We've already tried. Regarding Mo Yusheng, other than the fact that she's your disciple, there's nothing else. How can this be? Sima Yue was extremely shocked. Actually, there's nothing strange about this. The heavenly Tao covered up the matter of the white tiger. Since Mo Yusheng is its contractor, it's normal for him to be covered up by the heavenly Tao. Black Tortoise said, there's also a possibility that it's because of him. He's a little strange, isn't he? If there's no reason, it wouldn't be like this. In short, it was just a sentence. They couldn't calculate anything, she could only rely on herself. Sima Yue broke the connection and kept the sound stone. She thought about Mo Yusheng's situation again, but she still couldn't think of a reason. She could only ask for help. Why did you call me here? The flamboyant throne appeared in the room, along with Ming's ugly face. I have something to ask you. Sima Yue said with a smile, I can't find anyone else now, so I can only look for you. Ming didn't know if it was because this sentence successfully pleased him, but his expression became better. He said, say it, what's the matter that you can't solve? Sima Yue told him about Mo Yusheng's situation. She didn't even mention the fact that Black Tortoise and the rest couldn't calculate anything about him. You're talking about that little child in the courtyard? Ming looked at Mo Yusheng who was squatting on the ground. Yes. Help me take a look, why can't he cultivate? Sima Yue looked at him expectantly. I really have to hand it to you. Ming glanced at her. With a wave of his hand, a black fog was released from his palm. It flew to Mo Yusheng's side and enveloped him. The other side was connected to his hand. Mo Yusheng, who was squatting in front of the herbs, didn't know what was going on. He only felt his body turn cold and fell to the ground. Sima Yue looked at Mo Yusheng worriedly, but she didn't go up to interrupt Ming. After 2 to 3 minutes, Ming retracted the black fog. How is it? Do you know the reason? Sima Yue asked. He's a cultivator undergoing tribulation. Ming said, people like him have something different from ordinary people. They have their own strength, so normal cultivation methods aren't suitable for them. Mo Yusheng is a cultivator undergoing tribulation? Sima Yue was shocked. Yes, so don't use normal methods to guide him. Instead, activate the strength in his body. How do I activate it? Their bodies don't feel any different. Their strength was only sealed by the heavenly Tao. It's not that they don't have it anymore. Ming looked at her as if she was stupid. Didn't you also have a period of time where your strength disappeared? Sima Yue recalled that when she first came out, her power was sealed by the heavenly Tao. It was only after she blocked the Ghost Clan's people in Fair Eastern City and attracted the lightning tribulation that she returned to normal after being ruthlessly struck. Therefore, Mo Yusheng needed a stimulation point. As long as that point was stimulated, he would be able to recover his strength. Don't ask me how to stimulate him. Every cultivator undergoing tribulation is different. You can figure it out yourself. Ming rejected her silent request. Then, he sat on the throne and left. She was the only one who had the guts to ask someone like him to come and answer her questions. Mo Yusheng shook his head. How can medicinal ingredients be eaten? Why can't medicinal herbs be eaten? Little Seven asked back, you haven't eaten them before, have you? Mo Yusheng tilted his head and thought about it. What she said seemed to make sense. You can feel the power in the herbs, right? I can also feel the power of the herbs. Little Seven said. Really? Mo Yusheng looked at Little Seven in surprise. Even his master could not see the power in the herbs, but she could. It's those green things that look like water vapor, right? Little Seven asked. Yes, that's right. You can really see it. Mo Yusheng was extremely excited and almost went up to hug Little Seven. Don't be so excited, little fellow. Little Seven patted his shoulder and said seriously, I've never met anyone who could see the power in the herbs before. Let's go outside and have a chat. Sure, sure. Mo Yusheng nodded and carried the big radish out. Hua Hua saw little Seven follow him out. The two of them were discussing in full swing in front of the herbs in the courtyard. She speechlessly took out a chair and sat at the side, playing with the flowers. The days were boring, so she could only play with flowers. Hua Hua covered her surroundings with flowers when she suddenly heard a miserable cry. She was so scared that the flower in her hand was thrown away before it even fully bloomed. Ah, it hurts. Mo Yusheng laid on the ground and rolled around, scratching his body non-stop. What's wrong with him? Wasn't he fine just now? Hua Hua jumped up from the chair. This Mo Yusheng was a very important person. If something happened to him, how could the two of them face Yue? I only gave him a bite of the big radish. Who knew that he would suddenly become like this? Little Seven was also a bit panicked. Let's quickly call Yu back. Hua Hua said and contacted Sima Yue through the contract. In the next second, Sima Yue appeared in the courtyard. What happened to Yusheng? Sima Yue saw Mo Yusheng rolling around on the ground and was very surprised. I only gave him a bite of the big radish. Little Seven said. Sima Yue saw the herbs on the ground and did not have time to scold Little Seven. She waved her hand and wrapped Mo Yusheng with energy, temporarily relieving his pain. Mo Yusheng woke up a bit and saw Sima Yue. He cried and said, Master, I'm in pain. Don't be afraid. Master is here. You'll be fine. Sima Yue went up and hugged him. She carried him into the room and placed him on the bed. She checked his body and pulled open his clothes. She took out a few silver needles and poked his stomach a few times. After a few needles, Mo Yusheng felt much better. However, he still felt a force rampaging in his body. Master, Yusheng is in pain. His tears smeared his face and his teary eyes looked very pitiful. Yusheng, the force in your body is the force of the herbs that you feel. I can help you expel it. However, didn't you want to cultivate to protect your sixth brother? This is a chance for you to cultivate. As long as you can absorb that force into your dantian, you can cultivate in the future. Master, Yusheng won't. No problem. I will help you guide that force. You just have to endure it. Sima Yue said, however, this process will be more painful. Can you endure it? For sixth brother, I can. Mo Yusheng gritted his teeth. Then I'm going to start. Don't resist that force. Sima Yue said and started to control the force in his body to slowly move towards his dantian. Because it had to go through his meridians and let the spirit energy nourish them, her speed was not fast. Mo Yusheng's body had never experienced this before. When the spirit energy passed through his meridians, he felt like he was going to explode. He bit his lips so hard that his lips were almost pierced through. His entire lips were dripping with blood. The pain in his body made him want to give up. However, when he thought of sixth brother's gaze on him, he had to endure it. Endure, endure. His eyes stared straight and his eyeballs could not even turn. This made Sima Yue's heart ache. However, he could not give up now. Otherwise, all the pain he suffered before would have been wasted. Chapter 2293. Once Sima Yu had guided the energy to his dantian and calmed it down, she said that it was done and Mo Yusheng immediately fainted. Sima Yue checked his body and made sure that he was fine before feeding him some pills to let him rest. Yu, I'm sorry. Little Seven lowered her head as she blamed herself. Today's matter was too dangerous. If it wasn't for Sima Yue coming back to control him, Mo Yusheng might have been crippled. If the four god beasts couldn't gather, the consequences would be unimaginable. You were a little rash today, but you had good intentions. Luckily, this matter turned out okay. I won't punish you. When Yusheng wakes up, you can apologize to him yourself. Sima Yue said. Oh. Little Seven stood beside Mo Yusheng's bed, planning to wait for him to wake up. Sima Yuyue knew that she was blaming herself, so she didn't say much and went out with Hua Hua. The first person Mo Yusheng saw when he woke up was Little Seven. He blinked his eyes and then revealed a pure smile to Little Seven. Little Seven, have you been watching over me? You're finally awake. How is it? Does your body still hurt? Little Seven asked. It hurts. Mo Yusheng answered honestly. Sorry Yusheng, I shouldn't have let you eat the big radish. Little Seven apologized. It's okay, I ate it myself. Mo Yusheng didn't blame her. I think I saw Master before I fell asleep. Master even said that I could cultivate. You can cultivate, but you have to wait until your body recovers. Little Seven said, when you're better, I'll let you eat my essence, okay? Okay. Mo Yusheng didn't know what her essence was, but he knew that she was looking at him with a sad gaze. If this could make her feel less sad, then he would eat it. Sima Yuyue knew that he had woken up, so she opened the door and came to the bedside, asking, how do you feel? My entire body hurts. Mo Yusheng looked at Sima Yuyue pitifully, like a child who had been hurt and was crying to his mother. Sima Yuyue sat beside the bed and gave him a checkup. She then took out a pill and fed it to him, saying, your meridians and muscles have been ruptured by your spirit energy. Although you've taken this pill, it will take some time to recover. Master, I'm hungry. Mo said. Little Seven laughed, if you know that you're hungry, then it means that your condition isn't bad. I've made you some medicinal porridge, I'll bring it to you later. Sima Yuyue looked at him and thought of Wu Xiaodao and Wu Qiyao. They were the same age as him and liked to act coquettishly. She didn't know if they were well or not and whether they were injured. This was the effect of Sima Yuyue. Was the Yuyues during this period time. She Yuyue was Yuyue. When Fu Shi and the others found out that Mo Yusheng had his first strand of spirit energy, they were so excited that they almost ran to the school. During this time, Mo Yulai came to visit Mo Yusheng once. She didn't know what the two brothers were talking about, but when Mo Yulai came out, his eyes were red and his steps were heavy. Sima Yuyue watched him leave and felt that he was carrying a heavy burden. Today, Mo Yusheng got up early in the morning and rummaged through his room and courtyard. After a while, he ran over and said, Master, where's my big radish? I put it away. Sima Yuyue said. Master, give it to me. I want to eat a bite. Mo Yusheng reached out his hand. No. Sima Yuyue refused. Why? Can't you cultivate after eating that? Mo Yusheng was getting better at expressing himself. Sima Yuyue found that after being with her, his intelligence seemed to have increased by quite a bit. You only had your first strand of spirit energy after eating the herbs, but it's also very harmful to your body. We need to use a better method to cultivate and not this method, understand? Sima Yuyue explained patiently. Then how do I cultivate? Mo Yusheng asked obediently. Can you feel the spirit energy in the air now? Sima Yuyue asked. What's the spirit energy in the air? Sima Yuyue taught him how to meditate, but no matter how hard he tried, he still couldn't feel the spirit energy in the air. Even if he used the spirit energy in his body, it was still the same. Sima Yuyue finally realized that Mo Yusheng really couldn't rely on this method to cultivate. She took out the big radish, cut a piece and placed it in his palm. Then, she let him feel it and he finally felt the energy fluctuation. Thus, she guided him to absorb the energy. As Mo Yusheng didn't know anything about cultivation and his intelligence was relatively low, it took her a lot of effort to teach him how to absorb the energy in the herbs. As he was still too weak and didn't know how to control himself, she strictly controlled the amount he cultivated. Every time, she would only cut a piece for him and give him the rest after he finished absorbing it. Knowing that Little Seven wanted to give her essence to him, she called Little Seven over to teach her a lesson. The energy in her essence was much stronger than these herbs. Mo Yusheng was so weak now, even if he couldn't absorb a single drop, it would cause an accident. Little Seven was afraid that something like that day would happen again, so she didn't dare to give her essence to Mo Yusheng in private. "Teacher, where's your disciple? I haven't seen him in class recently," someone asked during class. "Why? Is there something you can't figure out and want to ask Yusheng?" Sima Yuyue was already familiar with her students and would occasionally joke with them. She knew that she wouldn't be their teacher and student for long, so she tried her best to help them broaden their path and let them walk further on the path of alchemy. "No way." The student who spoke denied, "It's just that he used to come with you every day. Now that I haven't seen him for a few days, I'm still not used to it. He probably won't come again." Sima Yuyue said, "He has his own things to do. After he could cultivate, he would be able to try alchemy himself. At that time, he wouldn't need to watch others refine pills." After class, Sima Yuyue's people blocked her way. "Teacher Yuyue." A seductive girl blocked her way outside the classroom. When she saw her come out, she handed her an invitation and said arrogantly, "Our master invites you to attend a banquet tomorrow night." "Who's your master?" Sima Yuyue didn't even look at the invitation. "It's the crown prince, right?" "That's right." That girl said proudly, "Our master is hosting a banquet to entertain the teachers of the various academies. He heard that you're good, so he sent you an invitation to attend tomorrow." "No need, I'm not interested." Sima Yuyue hadn't seen the crown prince before, but to be persuaded by the fourth prince to find trouble with her, it could be seen that he was a brainless person. As soon as she left, the woman suddenly took out a whip and attacked her. Chapter 2294. When the students came out of the classroom and saw this scene, a few of them cried out, "Teacher Yuyue, be careful." Just as the whip was about to touch Sima Yuyue's back, she disappeared from her original position. The students all let out a long sigh of relief. How could they forget that their teacher was very powerful? The girl did not think that Sima Yuyue would actually disappear from her original position without a sound. She looked around vigilantly, trying to see where Sima Yuyue was. However, the whip in her hand was suddenly snatched away and her body was ruthlessly whipped. "Ah!" The whip hit her body and she could not help but cry out in pain. This was not the end of the whip. Before she could react, the whip came from all directions and she could not retaliate at all. Her dress was torn and one could even vaguely see places that should not be seen. Being beaten to this extent in public, the girl was extremely ashamed and angry. However, she did not even see Sima Yuyue's shadow. Sima Yuyue had whipped enough and slowly appeared in the air. She threw the whip in front of the girl and only said one word, "Scram." Then, she disappeared from her original position and returned to the small courtyard. The girl crawled up from the ground and looked at the students surrounding her. She whipped the ground and fiercely threatened, "If any of you continue to look, I will dig your eyes out. Dressing so flirtatiously in our academy and you still don't want others to look?" Someone jeered. "You better scram quickly. Don't wait for our teacher Yuyue to come back and slap you to death. I am the first prince's personal servant. You dare to bully me? Be careful of your little lives." The girl ran out after speaking. Some people were worried for Sima Yuyue. After all, the other party was the first prince. They were worried that the first prince would take revenge after brushing away his face. Teacher Yuyue is so powerful. Even the first prince can't do anything to her. This is the power of a strong person. We should obediently go back and cultivate. The group of onlookers finally left. Sima Yuyue returned to the small courtyard. Little Dream and Little Roar were playing in the courtyard while paying attention to Mo's movements. Seeing Sima Yuyue, Little Roar threw himself into her embrace and said, "Yuyu, why are you angry?" Although Sima Yuyue didn't put that woman in her eyes, she wasn't in a good mood after being disgusted by such a self-righteous person. Little Roar and her had a soul contract, so he could feel the minute changes. "I met someone who was blocking my way," she replied. "How's the rain?" "He's been cultivating in his room and hasn't come out yet." Little Dream said, "I didn't expect his willpower to be so firm. After cultivating for so long, he didn't get impatient or anything." Mo Yusheng's mental age was only a few years old, and he was at the age where he was active. They thought that he would come out to play after cultivating for a while, but they didn't expect him to cultivate for 2 days without coming out. For someone as pure as him, once he has someone he wants to protect in his heart, he will be even more persistent. Sima Yuyue said, Mo Yusheng is very lucky to have a younger brother like him. At this moment, there was a fluctuation in the house. Sima Yuyue and Little Dream looked towards Mo Yusheng's room in surprise. He advanced in rank? So fast. Little roar came out from Sima Yuyue's embrace. Yuyue, your disciple's talent is very good. He's a cultivator who went through calamity, how bad can his talent be? Sima Yuyue said. Now he could cultivate, but where was the white tiger? It shouldn't be in the academy. Could it be that she had to bring it out to travel? If not, he wouldn't be able to form a contract with it even if he stayed in the academy. Sigh, without a direction, she didn't know what the white tiger was going to do. Mo Yusheng successfully advanced in rank. When he opened the door and saw Sima Yuyue in the courtyard, he ran to her side and smiled, Master, I advanced in rank. Not bad. Sima Yuyue patted his head and said, continue to work hard. When you become stronger, you will be able to protect your 6th royal brother. Master, give me the big radish. I will absorb it bit by bit. Mo Yusheng promised. No, you have already advanced in rank so many times. Now, you need to stabilize yourself. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to advance in rank in the future. Sima Yuyue said, do you have anything you want to do? Mo Yusheng tilted his head and thought for a while before saying, I want to see 6th royal brother and tell him that I advanced in rank. I'll ask the dean if I can contact your 6th royal brother. Sima Yuyue tried to say, if it's not convenient for your 6th royal brother, let's not disturb him, alright? Alright. 6th royal brother is in danger. You have to be careful. Mo Yusheng obediently replied. Sima Yuyue saw that he was so obedient and felt a little heartache for his sensible mentality. Actually, she could secretly bring him to see Mo Yusheng and no one would find out. However, she did not want him to feel that he had to be sneaky in order to see his own brother. He could not understand all of this now. Teacher Yuyue. There was a knock on the door of the small courtyard. Sima Yuyue went to open the door and saw that it was Dong Li, who she had not seen in a long time. Director Dong Li, you're back. Please come in. Sima Yuyue did not know many people in this academy and was rather familiar with things. All right. Dong Li followed her into the courtyard. Mo Yusheng was rather happy to see him and came in front of him to call him. He did not know how to hide his strength. Dong Li saw the fluctuations of spiritual energy on his body and looked at Sima Yuyue in shock, asking, he knows how to cultivate? Yes. He just started not long ago. Sima Yuyue did not say much and changed the topic, asking him, now that you're back, are you still going to leave? I won't be leaving for the time being. That's good. If he did not leave for the time being, it meant that the things they were doing in secret were going smoothly. Why are you here today? Sima Yuyue asked. It's like this. In 2 days, there will be a teachers' meeting. The emperor specifically asked you to attend. Dong Li looked at her with some difficulty. The academy did not have the strength to directly fight with the emperor. Now that the emperor wanted Sima Yuyue to appear as a teacher, the academy could not refuse. However, they all knew of Sima Yuyue's strength and did not dare to directly ask her. Invite me? Sima Yuyue frowned. The first prince's people had just been beaten back and now the emperor was here? Was this also the 4th prince's doing? Not only you, the 7th prince also wants to go that day. Dong Li said, I don't know if it's because he knows that you accepted the 7th prince as your disciple. 2 days later. Since Yusheng wants to go, then I'll bring him. She could bring him to see Mo Yusheng. Then we'll go together 2 days later. All right. Once Dong Li left, Mo Yusheng grabbed her sleeve and asked, Master, are we going to see 6th imperial brother? In 2 days. In these 2 days, I'll teach you how to conceal your aura. Chapter 2295. In terms of cultivation, Mo Yusheng was really talented. He really learned the method of concealing his aura within 2 days. Now that he stood in front of others, no one would know that he could cultivate. Other than this, Sima Yuyue also left her soul imprint in his sea of consciousness. She even let Little Black turn into a black ribbon and wrap it around his hand. Mo Yusheng didn't understand why she did this, but he knew that she did it for his own good, so he didn't object. After everything was packed, Sima Yuyue brought Mo Yusheng to the dean. The dean, Dongli, and 2 other heads were already waiting for them. When they arrived, they got on the beast carriage and drove towards the palace. The first carriage was for the dean and the other heads. Sima Yuyue brought Mo Yusheng and sat in the second carriage. Mo Yusheng had never seen the outside before. He excitedly pulled open the curtains and looked around. When he saw something fun, his eyes would light up and he would even dance with joy. Sima Yuyue kept looking at him with a smile. With such a pure personality, it was really hard to associate him with someone who was going through a tribulation. Master, the outside is really fun. Can we come out more often in the future? Mo Yusheng looked at her expectantly like a child. Do you like the outside? Sima Yuyue asked. I like it. There are so many things that I haven't seen before. Then Master will bring you to even further places in the future to see different people and things. How about it? Okay. When we reach the palace later, you have to follow me or your 6th brother. You can't be alone, okay? Sima Yuyue reminded. I know. Mo Yusheng had Little Black in her soul imprint. She wasn't worried about his safety, but she wanted to be as low-key as possible. The beast carriage drove all the way to the palace's second gate. They had to walk after that. There were many beast carriages parked here. When Sima Yuyue and Mo Yusheng got off the carriage, they attracted a lot of attention. Those who were able to participate in this academy conference were all people with extraordinary positions in their respective academies. They were either the dean, the vice dean, or the outstanding person in charge of their respective academies. Thus, everyone knew each other. This was the first time he had seen an unfamiliar woman in such an occasion. Moreover, she had brought a young man with her. That youth was clearly mentally handicapped. How could 2 people like that participate in the academy assembly? Looking at the people around her, weren't they the stubborn old men from the Clear Wind Academy? Dean Hao, this is the academy assembly. Why did you bring irrelevant people here for? Could it be that your academy has no one and you're looking for someone to make up the numbers? After a pot-bellied man finished speaking, the surrounding people all laughed. All of them had either sided with the first prince or the 4th prince. Regardless of which side they were on, none of them had any good feelings towards the Neutral Breeze Academy. Does our Clear Breeze Academy need to make up the numbers? Don't tell me you've forgotten that a single teacher from our academy defeated several of your teachers back then? Dean Hao had a smile on his face. His voice wasn't loud, but it was like a slap to that person's face. TSK, Dean Hao, you can't possibly think that the present is still the same as the past, right? Another tall and skinny man stepped forward and said, it's still unknown what results your Qingfeng Academy will achieve this year. Dean Hao, who is this young lady? If you've casually brought 2 people here, the Emperor will not allow you to play such tricks. Another person asked. Sima Yuyue was being sized up by these people. Some of them were scrutinizing her, some of them were provoking her, some of them were lustful, and some of them were too revealing, as if they wanted to do something to her. They looked at Mo Yusheng with all kinds of disgust and ridicule. Her gaze darkened and she released her aura, immediately suppressing everyone. PFFF. The people who spoke earlier were focused on by her and couldn't withstand her pressure. They immediately spat out blood and fell to the ground after taking 2 steps back. The others looked at Sima Yuyue in horror. Who was this person? How could she have such a strong pressure? Dean Hao and the others stood beside Sima Yue and were in a better state than the others. However, they still felt the pressure. Teacher. Mo Yusheng tugged on Sima Yue's sleeve. Only then did Sima Yue retract her pressure and coldly said, "Before you ridicule others, you should first see if you have the qualifications to do so. Yusheng, let's go. Those royal brothers of yours probably can't wait to see you." After saying this, she pulled Mo Yusheng and walked into the palace. No one dared to say another word. The entire palace entrance was so quiet that water could drip out. Dean Hao and the others knew that Sima Yue was angry, so they didn't say anything and followed her in. After they left, those people slowly came back to their senses. They wiped the sweat off their foreheads and said, "Who is this girl? How could she be so powerful? No matter who she is, she almost lost her life this time. Yo, he, she even dares to ridicule such a strong person. As expected, she's bold and doesn't care about her own life. That's not all. She's relying on the fact that she's from the First Prince's faction. If that strong person gets angry and kills all of you, TSK, I'm afraid you won't even be able to withstand a single blow, right?" Those people who spoke earlier were terrified. Their opponents were starting to hit them while they were down. Don't be happy too early. She came with the Clear Wind Academy. Your relationship with the Clear Wind Academy isn't good either. If we were to be killed, do you think you can escape? Sima Yue wasn't interested in the conversation behind her. She brought Mo Yusheng into the palace. The little eunuch who led the way felt his heart tremble. Fortunately, not long after, the emperor and the other princes came out to welcome them. This little eunuch could leave after accomplishing his mission. "We are honored that the Venerable One has condescended to participate in the Academy Assembly." Emperor Mo Shao bowed towards Sima Yue. "The Emperor has invited the Clear Wind Academy. As a teacher of the Academy, I should come. Moreover, the Emperor has personally sent me an invitation. How can I disappoint the Emperor's good intentions?" Sima Yue said with a faint smile. This made the faces of the people who came in behind her turn red. She was actually personally invited by the Emperor. Just now, they had said that she could invite anyone she wanted. Sima Yue patted Mo Yusheng's hand and said, "Yusheng, what did we talk about before?" "Master, I remember." Mo Yusheng let go of her sleeve and took 2 steps forward. He bowed towards Mo Shao and said, "This son greets Imperial Father." Everyone present was stunned when they heard the words Master and Father. Mo Shao looked at Mo Yusheng and asked with some doubt, "You are Yusheng?" "Yes, Imperial Father." Mo Yusheng stood up and returned to Sima Yue's back. He pulled on her sleeve. With so many people, it was safer to stay by Master's side. Chapter 2296. That fool was actually standing in front of them. This made the princes very unhappy. Especially when they heard him call Sima Yue master and pull on her sleeve. Such a powerful expert, such a beautiful woman, was actually this fool's master. "Teacher Yue, how could you be Yusheng's master?" The eldest prince, Mo Yuding, asked. Sima Yue saw that Mo Yuding was truly shocked. Mo Shao and the others were also the same. She secretly thought that they didn't know before. Then how could Mo Yusheng participate? She looked at Mo Yulai, and Mo Yulai nodded at her without a trace. She raised her eyebrows. It was actually him? Mo Yusheng was a bit afraid of Mo Yuding. Hearing him say this, his body unconsciously trembled. He pulled on Sima Yue's sleeve and hid behind her. Sima Yue glanced at the eldest prince and said, "I found Yusheng pleasing to the eye, so I took him in as my disciple." "What, do I need to report to you?" Mo Yuding couldn't breathe from the pressure of her gaze, and his face turned red. Fortunately, Sima Yue didn't want to embarrass the eldest prince in front of everyone. She only gave him a warning before withdrawing her pressure. Mo Shao turned around and glared at the eldest prince before smiling apologetically at Sima Yue. "This child is impolite. Teacher Yuyue, please don't mind him. Sima Yuyue gave a faint snort and didn't say anything. She also didn't have any intention of continuing. The emperor smiled and called for them to head to the venue. Teacher Yuyue, where did you come from? Teacher Yuyue, when did you join Clear Wind Academy? Teacher Yuyue, the emperor talked to her the entire way, almost ignoring Dean Hao, Dong Li, and the other people from the other academies. However, Sima Yuyue didn't pay much attention to him. He asked 5 questions and she answered 1, but this didn't reduce the emperor's enthusiasm. Later on, the emperor also discovered this and changed his strategy. He began to ask about Mo Yusheng. When it came to Mo Yusheng, she would speak more, which made the emperor very happy. When they arrived at the venue, the emperor directly invited Sima Yuyue to sit beside him. Sima Yuyue did not stand on ceremony and brought Mo Yusheng to sit beside him. Mo Yusheng pulled Mo Yulai and was unwilling to come over. Yusheng, be good. Imperial brother's seat is below. Mo Yu patted his hand, but Mo Yusheng refused to let go. I want to sit with Imperial brother. Come and sit with us. Mo Yusheng held his hand and refused to let go. When she saw Sima Yuyue looking over, she looked at her for help. The emperor looked over and sized Mo Yulai up without leaving a trace, saying, Yulai, you can sit next to Yusheng. Yes, father. With the emperor's words, Mo Yulai sat next to Mo Yusheng. Thus, the seats became Sima Yuyue, Mo Yusheng, and Mo Yulai. Even the 4th prince, Mo Yusher, who had always been doted on by the emperor, had no choice but to sit behind him. The crown prince sat on the other side. Below him were the deans of the other academies. Behind them were the teachers of the various academies. Sima Yuyue sat in the main seat and did not pay attention to the people below. She also did not pay attention to what they were saying. She was cold the entire time. However, she was too strong and no one dared to complain. Sima Yuyue felt that this was not bad. Occasionally acting cold could block a lot of things. Of course, it was also because she had the strength now. If this happened to her 200 years ago, she would have been slapped to death. After sitting for a while, she found that Mo Yusheng was a bit impatient, so she said to the emperor, Emperor, this is my first time coming to the palace. Can I take a look around? You want to take a look around the palace? The emperor was stunned. I'll accompany you. No need. Let the 6th prince accompany us. Sima Yuyue said, Yusheng is afraid of strangers. If there are strangers, he will feel uncomfortable. That's fine. The emperor did not force it. For such a strong person, the best thing to do was to follow her wishes. Yulai, bring teacher Yuyue around the palace. Do not neglect her. This son obeys. Mo Yulai stood up and replied. Then, under everyone's gaze, he left with Sima Yuyue and Mo Yusheng. After the 3 left the main hall, Mo Yusheng grabbed Mo Yulai's sleeve and said happily, 6th brother, was my performance good? Very good. Mo Yulai smiled and said, Yusheng has grown up. Mo Yusheng whispered into his ear, 6th brother, I'll tell you a secret. I can cultivate now. Really? Although Mo Yulai was asking Mo Yusheng, he was looking at Sima Yuyue. Sima Yuyue nodded and said, not only can I cultivate, but my talent is also not bad. It's just that my cultivation method is a little different. Mo Yulai did not know what she meant by different, but knowing that he could cultivate made him very happy. After today, there will be more people coming to seek refuge with you. Sima Yuyue said. Mo Yulai bowed to her and said, today's matter was because I had no other choice. Please forgive me, senior. Things are not going well? Sima Yuyue asked. Those who have a bit of strength look down on me, a prince who has always been guarding the imperial mausoleum and neglected by my father. The principal and the others went to contact some of them, but they returned without success. That's why I thought of this method. Mo Yulai said. Now that those people knew that he had a good relationship with Sima Yuyue and the emperor had noticed him, his situation would be much better in the future. What did you say to the emperor? Sima Yue asked. Actually, it wasn't me who said it. I only asked them to talk about what happened at the entrance of the academy that day in front of my father. Mo Yulai said. After that, my father called fourth brother over to ask about it. So, Sima Yue's matter was actually told by Mo Yusher. Master, sixth brother is in danger in the imperial palace. Can we help him? Mo Yusheng said. If I didn't help him, he probably wouldn't be in one piece right now. Sima Yue snorted. She had always used others since she was young. This was the first time she was used by someone else. I knew that master was the best. Mo Yusheng said with a smile. Seeing his smile, the bit of unhappiness in Sima Yu's heart dissipated. Does the emperor not have long to live? Sima Yue asked Mo Yusheng. Right, my father's body is getting weaker by the day. He shouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. That's why eldest brother and fourth brother are fighting so fiercely. Mo Yulai said. Do you want to save him? Save? I don't have the ability to save him. Mo Yulai muttered, saving him might not be a good thing for the commoners. Chapter 2297. Sima Yue let the two brothers meet to fulfill Mo Yusheng's wish to see Mo Yulai. Seeing the two brothers chatting so enthusiastically, she couldn't help but think about what would happen if Mo Yusheng went to the divine realm and couldn't see each other. When it was about time, she waved her hand at Mo Yusheng and said, we should go back. Mo Yusheng was very happy to be able to chat with Mo Yulai for so long. He obediently came to Sima Yue's side and asked, Master, can I come out and find sixth brother in the future? You can, but you can't come out alone. You have to come with me. Sima Yue also wanted him to come out and see more and increase his knowledge, so she readily agreed. Really? Master, you're too good. Mo Yusheng was very happy. Alright, their banquet is over. We should go back. Sima Yue glanced at the side of the imperial garden and reached out to grab Mo Yusheng. The two people's figures slowly disappeared from their original spot. The emperor and the others came over just in time to see them leave. This made the emperor feel very regretful. If he came a minute earlier, wouldn't he be able to talk to her? Yulai, what did you talk to her about? The emperor asked. Do you know her background? This son asked, but she didn't say anything. Mo Yusheng said. Then what did she say after you came out for so long? The emperor asked. She didn't talk much. She only said a lot about my cultivation. Mo Yusheng said. She gave you pointers on your cultivation? The princes looked at him with resentment. Such a good opportunity was actually given to this useless prince who had no power or influence. The emperor sized him up and nodded. She's very powerful. To be able to get her pointers is a once-in-100 years opportunity. This son thinks so too. After Master Yue's pointers, the differences from before are now clear. This son feels that I've benefited a lot. Mo Yusheng replied. Let's take a walk in the imperial garden. Tell me how she gave you pointers. The emperor said to the others, you're all tired today. Go back and rest. This meant that Mo Yusheng was going to accompany him. The princes glared at Mo Yulai and left unwillingly. After leaving the imperial palace, the first prince and the fourth prince gathered together to discuss today's matter. Both sides came to the same conclusion. Mo Yu was too dangerous and must be eliminated. Although the sixth prince doesn't have anyone by his side, he has a good relationship with the seventh prince since they were young. Now that the seventh prince had acknowledged that woman as his master, wouldn't that woman stand on his side? Today's matter is the best proof. She doesn't even put the emperor in her eyes, but let the sixth prince accompany them to tour the imperial palace. She gave him pointers. Isn't it all because of the seventh prince's face? That's right. If he manages to win Yue over, wouldn't he have the strongest support? At that time, not only will he have her help, I'm afraid that even the Clear Wind Academy behind her will follow him. Not only that, but there are also a few neutral forces. They are now neutral because they don't know who will win in this competition. If they knew about Teacher Yoyue's existence, I'm afraid they would immediately make a decision. What kind of decision would that be? There was no need for them to say more. Everyone was well aware of it. This was a big threat to them. If they wanted to get rid of this threat, there was only one way, and that was to take drastic measures to completely resolve this matter before it happened. But who did this person want to go? Both sides wanted the other side to make a move, but if the other side also thought the same, then no one would make a move. In the end, both sides sent people to strangle the trouble in the cradle. When Mou came out of the imperial palace, it was already very late. The emperor pulled him aside and said a lot. He knew that this was a good sign, but he also knew that this was a very dangerous matter. From the imperial palace to his mansion, there was a road to the ghost realm. Master, should we take another road back? His guard followed him out of the imperial palace and asked. Other road? Do we want to make a bet that there are people waiting for us on every road from here to the mansion? Mou said with a smile. Then wouldn't it be dangerous wherever we go? Even if it's dangerous, we still have to go. From the moment we took that step, there was no turning back. Let's go, don't let them wait too long. Mou said and walked forward. Just as he said, there were two groups of people waiting for him on every road from the imperial palace to his mansion. No matter which road he took, he would encounter an ambush. When those people saw him, they didn't say much nonsense and directly came to kill him. Originally, they thought that he was just a baby who hadn't grown up, wasn't strong, and didn't have any capable people by his side, so he should be easy to deal with. They didn't expect that some people would come out of nowhere and kill all the people who came to assassinate him. I didn't expect you to have people by your side. An old man appeared on the roof next to him, looking at Mou with eyes full of killing intent. They had actually misjudged Mou. Mou had secretly developed a force that wasn't weak. If they waited for him to rope in the Clear Wind Academy, the first prince and the fourth prince wouldn't have any power to resist. What he didn't know was that these people were sent by the Qingfeng Academy to protect him. When they asked me to come, I thought they were making a big fuss over nothing. Only now do I feel that this decision was wise. If I don't kill you today, you will definitely be a disaster when you grow up tomorrow. The old man condensed his spirit power and turned it into a spirit skill to attack below. The people following Mou were no match for this old man and were all beaten down in a few moves. Mou looked at the people around him, but there was no panic on his face. He was just a little surprised. He didn't know who sent such a strong person to kill him. Was it the first prince or the fourth prince? The old man finished off those people and landed in the middle of the street, blocking in front of Mou. He smiled evilly and said, I have already set up a barrier here. Everything that happens here won't be known to anyone, and no one will come to save you. After saying that, he used a spirit skill to attack Mou. Mou was imprisoned by his pressure and couldn't move. He could only watch as the spirit skill got closer and closer to him. Bang! The old man's spirit skill was reflected the moment it was about to touch him. If it wasn't for his quick reaction, he would have been injured by his own spirit skill. Who is it? He shouted. Mou's body emitted a soft white light, and a faint shadow was faintly discernible in the white light. Chapter 2298. Sima Yuyue looked at the old man and said, You do have some strength. No wonder you were able to activate the soul imprint I left behind. Who are you? The old man looked at Sima Yuyue. He did not expect her to be so strong despite her young age. Shouldn't you have guessed who I am? If it wasn't for me, I'm afraid you wouldn't have been invited out today. Sima Yuyue said. You're that woman called Yuyue. The old man was shocked. Of course he had heard of Sima Yuyue. Otherwise, why would the first prince invite him out? It was to ensure that nothing would go wrong. However, they had still underestimated her strength. Even his barrier couldn't stop her, but she could still appear silently. If her soul imprint was so strong, then how strong was she herself? When he thought of this, he did not have the confidence to face Sima Yuyue and wanted to retreat. Just as his body floated backwards, he found himself trapped. Barrier? He did not feel the existence of the barrier at all. Since you're here, then stay. End this quickly. Sima Yuyue's voice was slightly lazy, but this laziness took the life of a strong cultivator. Killed the person, but she still obtained the aura she wanted from his consciousness after his death. The person who sent him is the first prince. She waved her hand and burned the corpse on the ground. I've already guessed it. Fourth brother has already seen how strong you are and knows that normal spirit paragons are not your match. Therefore, he would not casually send such a strong cultivator. After experiencing life and death, Emoyulai was still afraid. His palms were sweaty and his inner clothes were drenched in cold sweat. Although he did not lose his aura, he was not as fearless as he appeared. Sima Yuyue looked at him, forcing himself to be stubborn, and sighed, saying, "Let's go, I'll send you back." "Thank you." Emoyulai secretly sighed in relief. The commotion just now should have attracted the attention of the other assassins. Most of the people sent by the academy to protect him were already dead. If she could send him back, then his journey would be safe. After tonight, he would be able to break through the current situation and his future path would be much easier. Sima Yuyue sent him home and said, 1 year. What? Emoyulai did not know what she meant and subconsciously turned his head to look at her. 1 year. I'll stay here. After 1 year, I'll bring Yusheng outside to train. Sima Yuyue disappeared after she finished speaking. Emoyulai was stunned before he understood what she meant. She would stay here for a year, which meant she would protect him in this 1 year period. 1 year? That's Yuyue to Yuyue. From tomorrow onwards, everything would be different. Sima Yuyue returned to her small courtyard. Emoyulai did not know that she had gone out and did not know that his beloved sixth brother had just gone through a dangerous situation. He was still cultivating because his master said that he would bring him to see his sixth brother after he advanced. After he advanced and could cultivate flames, he would tell his master that he wanted to try refining pills. In the past, he could only watch others refine pills. Now that he could cultivate, he would definitely be able to refine pills. A year passed in the blink of an eye. Sima Yuyue felt that this year was especially long. Perhaps it was because she was worried about the white tiger that she could not truly relax and enjoy life. Bang! The sound of an explosion came from the alchemy room. Not long later, Emoyulai walked out with a dejected expression. He had failed again. Emoyulai looked at Sima Yuyue and felt that he did not have the face to see his master anymore. He had clearly followed his master's instructions to refine the pills. He had also studied every step thoroughly. Why did the furnace explode? Master. He softly called out. Sima Yuyue looked at Emoyulai. She did not know if it was because he had started cultivating, but his wisdom had also grown. Now, it seemed that he already had the wisdom of a 10-year-old. Sima Yuyue initially tried to find the reason why his furnace exploded. Later on, she realized that the reason was not because of the process of refining pills, but because of the matter itself. In other words, no matter how familiar he was with refining pills and how perfect the process was, he would not succeed. The heavenly Tao would not allow him to succeed. Don't be discouraged. Perhaps it's because you don't have enough flames now. The flames that you cultivate are always a little lacking compared to the flames of your contracted beasts or the deviant flames that you absorb into your body. Sima Yuyue consoled him. Really? When have I ever lied to you? Sima Yuyue asked him. I just thought about it. I will find you a fire attribute contracted beast. It's best if it has its own spiritual fire. This way, when you refine pills, you can try it out and see if it's because of this. Then let's hurry and contract it. Emoyulai's disappointment was swept away. His fighting spirit was high again. As always, he was easy to coax. We have to leave for a long time, so let's go and greet the people we know. Sima Yuyue said. All right. Let's go. Mo Yulai pulled Sima Yuyue and left the small courtyard. Sima Yuyue took a look at the place where she had lived for more than a year. After leaving today, she probably would not return. She and Mo Yulai went to find the dean and told him that she was leaving. Dean Hao was silent for a while. I knew that this day would come, but I didn't expect it to be so fast. Thank you for taking care of me during this period of time. Sima Yuyue said. We should be the ones saying this to you. If it wasn't for you, our academy might not have existed a year ago. Dean Hao waved his hand. Ever since that day of the academy's meeting, their situation with Mo Yulai had improved a lot. It allowed them to open up a new path. Later on, when those powers supported Mo, they were moved by his personality and sincerely supported him, allowing him to quickly rise up and become a prince who was even more important than the first prince and fourth prince. Everything was a matter of course. All of this was because of her. Will you come back after leaving? Dong Li asked. Sima Yuyue shook her head. I probably won't come back. Chapter 2299. When Mo Yulai saw that Sima Yuyue had brought Mo Yusheng along, he guessed what was going on. Sixth brother, I'm going to travel with master. In this year, the two brothers had changed a lot. The only thing that didn't change was the relationship between them. Take care of yourself when you go out. Listen to your master and don't run around or do anything dangerous, understand? Mo Yulai warned. I know, sixth brother. Wait here for me to come back. Mo Yusheng nodded seriously. I'll wait here for you. Mo Yulai patted his shoulder and smiled at him. Obviously, he didn't know what his departure meant. He thought that he was simply going to contract a spirit beast, but he didn't know that he was going to embark on a difficult journey. He looked at Sima Yuyue and said, I'll leave everything to you. I will. Sima Yuyue nodded. If she didn't die, Mo Yusheng would definitely be alive. If she died, Mo Yusheng's fate wouldn't be good either. After they left Mo Yulai's place, they didn't immediately leave. Instead, they went to Fushi's place. They didn't expect to be stared at with jealousy as soon as they entered. More accurately speaking, that gaze was staring at the hand that Mo Yusheng was using to pull Sima Yuyu's sleeve. Sima Yuyue looked at Wu Lingyu in surprise and said, When did you come back? Just now. Wu Lingyu pulled Sima Yuyue over and said, How old are you? You're still letting him hold you. Mo Yusheng was frightened by Wu Lingyu's gaze and hid behind Sima Yuyue. He's timid, don't scare him. Sima Yuyue said. Then she said to Mo Yusheng, This is my husband. You call him Grandmaster? Pfft. Fushi and the others laughed from behind, especially when they saw Wu Lingyu's face that couldn't be any darker. Everyone laughed even more happily. Mo Yusheng was puzzled for a few seconds, but he still came out from behind Sima Yuyue and bowed respectfully towards him, shouting, Grandmaster. Ha ha ha. Wu Lingyu's face was extremely dark. Wah wah wah, a baby's cry startled everyone. Only then did they remember that Bai Yuyan was already 3 months old. When she and Bai Xiaofei quickly went to coax the child. Sima Yuyue looked at Bai Yuyan. She knew what Bai Xiaofei and Wen Shi were thinking. If they could succeed, then it would be fine. If they failed in the end, the 4 great ferocious beasts would definitely not let them go. At the very least, they would have a crystallization of love. She thought of Wu Xiaodao and Wu Qiao. After leaving for more than a year, she wondered how the 2 little guys were doing. Very quickly, the 2 of them managed to coax Bai Yuyan. Sima Yuyue said, Let's get ready to go. Black Tortoise, can you give us a direction? Azure Dragon of the East, White Tiger of the West, Vermilion Bird of the South, Black Tortoise of the North. If we want to find White Tiger, we have to go to the west. Black Tortoise said. Sima Yuyue was speechless. Azure Dragon of the East, White Tiger of the West, Vermilion Bird of the South, Black Tortoise of the North. Was this sentence supposed to be used at this time? She felt that Black Tortoise was a little unreliable. Instead, she looked at Fushi. Fushi nodded towards him and said, "We did a divination for White Tiger. Maybe it's because we're close, unlike before when there was nothing. We received some predictions that White Tiger is in the west." "The west? Then the range is too big. From what I know, there are many mountain ranges in the west. If we go one by one, how long will it take?" Sima Yuyue said. "There's no other way. There's only this hint. If we can divine more, the 4 great ferocious beasts can too." Fushi said. "Then we can only go one by one." Sima Yuyue sighed. "Since Yusheng is fated with him, maybe he can give us some help when the time comes." Mo Yusheng listened to their discussion. He had no idea what they were talking about. He only knew that after they finished speaking, everyone looked at him with an expectant look. This made him a little scared. "Then you guys pack up. We'll go to the west," Sima Yuyue said and went to his room with Wu Lingyu to talk. Although Mo Yusheng had become more familiar with everyone in this year, he was still a little scared. Luckily, Bai Yuyan attracted his attention, so he wasn't as scared as he was while waiting. The next morning, Sima Yuyue started messing around in the courtyard. Mo Yusheng saw her looking here and there. He didn't know what she was doing. He stayed in the courtyard for as long as she was messing around. "Master, what are you doing? Do you need Yusheng's help?" Mo Yusheng asked. "No need, you can just stay there." Sima Yuyue was afraid that he would come over and ruin the array she had just drawn, so she stopped him. "Oh." Mo Yusheng, who had just stood up, squatted back down. After Sima Yuyue finished setting up the array, everyone appeared in the courtyard one after another. Sima Yuyue activated the array and disappeared from the courtyard with everyone. Mo Yusheng came to the courtyard and saw the broken array stones. He stared at the array stones for a long time until Dean Hao came to find him. "They've already left." Dean Hao sighed. "Yes, they've already left." Mo Yusheng said, "I don't know what kind of danger awaits us. I hope Yusheng can come back safely." "He will come back." Dean Hao looked at the array stones. "He has teacher Yuyue by his side. There won't be any problems. I believe in her." He believed in her. They all believed in her. However, even she wasn't 100% confident in this matter. When Sima Yuyue and the rest came out of the array, they happened to be in a mountain range. They didn't know where this mountain was located. Little Roar went to trick a spirit beast over and asked about the situation here clearly. This place was called Feng Lai Mountain. It was the mountain range closest to Clear Wind Academy and was also the largest mountain range. If the White Tiger was in the west, the possibility of it being in this mountain range was higher. However, they stayed here for half a year and searched the entire mountain range, but they didn't find any news about the White Tiger. Not to mention the White Tiger, they didn't even find a normal tiger. Thus, after half a year, they left Feng Lai Mountain and continued to head west to the next mountain range. The next mountain range was also larger and the area here was no longer under the Mo Empire's control. Based on their previous experience, they directly asked if there were any tiger-type spirit beasts. After confirming that there were, they began to search the mountain range. 5 months later, they left in disappointment again. The next 2 mountain ranges were also fruitless. The group of people was about to be discouraged. Chapter 2300. Mo Yusheng saw that everyone was looking at him, so he shivered and said softly, "Yusheng doesn't know." "Yusheng, don't be afraid. Just tell us, if it was you, where would you go next?" "It's okay, just tell us what you think." Sima Yuyue comforted. Mo Yusheng looked around and casually pointed in a direction. Everyone's mouth twitched. "That's the direction we came from." I didn't know, sorry." Mo Yusheng said apologetically. "Then are we still going back?" When she hugged Bai Yuyan and asked. Yes. Bai Yuyan was already 2 years old and was learning how to speak. Everyone looked at Sima Yue. Sima Yue thought about it and looked at Wu Lingyu. Seeing that he didn't object, she said, since Yusheng pointed in that direction, then let's go back. I remember, when we came from the mountain range in front, we passed by a small mountain range. At that time, that mountain range was too small, so we didn't go down. Wu Lingyu said. The others also remembered that there was such a mountain range. At that time, they didn't go down because that mountain range was too small. Although it was called a mountain range, it was actually just a few mountains. The total area was only a few tens of kilometers. They all felt that the white tiger wouldn't be in such a small place, so they didn't go down. Since we're going back, then even if it's such a small place, we should still take a look. Bai Xiaofei said. And, since we don't have a direction, why don't we take a look? Fu Shi said. Thus, the group flew back in the direction they came from. In order not to miss out on the small mountain range in the middle, they used flying beasts to rest instead of using teleportation arrays. As long as there was a mountain, even if it was just a mountain, they would go down to take a look. Their actions were without a plan, and because they had no direction, they could only do this. Even so, they still didn't find anything. If I find this white tiger, I will definitely skin him and make a tiger fur coat. Black Tortoise snorted. Old Grandpa, don't be angry. There are so many of us, we will definitely find him. Mo Yusheng said. Everyone was anxious. Only he didn't know what was going on, but he still comforted Black Tortoise optimistically. We're running out of time. Black Tortoise sighed. Black Tortoise, did you feel anything? Crimson Flame asked him. Black Tortoise nodded and said in a heavy tone, I feel that something very dangerous will happen. I think that when we received the white tiger's information, they should have already guessed it. 2 years is enough for them to find us. Those beasts are coming again? When she subconsciously hugged Bai Yuyan tightly. She still had lingering fears about the strength of those people on the small island the last time. Especially now that she had a child with Bai Xiaofei. When something happens, take the child and leave first. Bai Xiaofei said. No, I want to follow you. When she said, if anyone passes by later, leave our child there. We'll come back to pick her up after the matter is settled. That's not safe either, Fu Shi said. If they're affected, they might not be able to protect the children. Yue, let them go to the spirit pagoda. But I can. But if something happens to me, they won't be able to come out from there. Sima Yue said. Aren't there people from Blood Fiend City in there? They can live in there for so long. If Yuyan can grow up safely there, there's nothing bad about it, Bai Xiaofei said. All right then, Sima Yue nodded. If she died, something would happen to the spirit pagoda, but it wouldn't be broken. Maybe they would meet other owners in the future and they would be able to come out. Didn't it have many owners in the past? Then again, things might not develop to that stage. Mo Yusheng didn't know what happened, but he could feel that everyone was different from before. Even his master was the same. In front of us is the small mountain range that we passed by before. Fu Shi looked at the small mountain range. This was the closest mountain range to the big mountain range from before. If there was still no news of the white tiger, then they could only go back to the mountain range from before. This feeling of searching like a headless fly was really not good. Just as they got close to the mountain range, many people walked out of the space. Hundreds and thousands of people surrounded them. This formation was much bigger than the one on Black Tortoise's island. Seems like they put in a lot of effort. Fu Shi mocked. There are so many people. Even if we want to kill them, it would take a lot of effort. Bai Xiaofei said, Yue, we'll have to trouble you. Sima Yue nodded and kept Wen Shi and Bai Yuyan into the spirit pagoda. This was what Bai Xiaofei requested before. He didn't want Wen Shi to follow her. After all, her strength was too low compared to these people. Sima Yue wanted to keep Mo Yusheng into the spirit pagoda, but he grabbed her sleeve and said fearfully, Master, someone is calling me over. Everyone's face lit up. When Sima Yue formed a contract with Crimson Flame, she followed his call to the cave. Now they didn't hear anything, but he did. Wasn't this the white tiger calling him? Really? Did you hear where the sound came from? Black Tortoise asked. It seems to be in the mountain in front. Mo Yusheng said with uncertainty. You, bring him to the small mountain in front. Leave this place to us. Crimson Flame said. Okay. I'll leave some ancient war souls for you. Sima Yuyue waved her hand and thousands of ancient war souls protected them in the middle. She then pulled Mo Yusheng's hand and the two of them disappeared from the sky. Those people also noticed that Sima Yuyue and Mo Yusheng disappeared. Their main target this time was the white tiger contractor. Seeing that he disappeared, the leader said, chase after those two. Since you're here, then stay. Why are you leaving? Fushi said. He transformed into the Azure Dragon and took the lead to attack. No matter what, they had to delay these people and let Sima Yuyue and Mo Yusheng find the white tiger and form a contract with it. Sima Yuyue brought Mo Yusheng out of the space. At this moment, she didn't care whether Mo Yusheng understood or not. She looked at him and said, Yusheng, find the divine beast that summoned you and form a contract with it. Do you understand? Master, will the white tiger that I contracted be able to help you? Mo Yusheng asked. Chapter 2301. Mo Yusheng nodded his head and pointed to a mountain. Sima Yuyue did not expect that after searching so many places and climbing so many mountains, the white tiger would actually be in such an unremarkable mountain. Let's go over. She pulled Mo Yusheng and teleported to the mountain that he pointed to. It was ordinary and did not even have a bit of spiritual energy. If it was not for Mo Yusheng saying that the white tiger was here, they would have thought that it was a place for mortals to cultivate. Sensing the fluctuations in the air, she let go of Mo Yusheng's hand and said, Yusheng, the enemy is here. I have to stay here and cannot go down with you. Follow the white tiger's voice and find it. After you find it, contract it. Little Black, Little Roar, you two go with him. Little Black was strong and although Little Roar was usually unreliable, he knew a lot. With the two of them accompanying him, she would be more at ease. An attack flew over from the sky and Sima Yuyue condensed a shield to block it. Then, she let Little Roar grow bigger and threw Mo Yusheng up. A few spiritual energies flew over and Sima Yuyue shouted for them to leave quickly. Little Roar brought Mo Yusheng and ran. Sima Yuyue saw that they had left and turned around to attack the sky. Little Roar's speed was very fast. Mo Yusheng, who was on his back, almost fell off. Fortunately, Little Black, who was attached to his body, protected him and prevented him from falling off. Thank you. Mo Yusheng said gratefully. Where is the white tiger? Little Black asked indifferently. To the left. Mo Yusheng said. Little Roar ran to the left and stopped not long after. In front of them was a cliff. Why do these fellows like to stay under the cliff? Little Roar muttered. Go down. Mo Yusheng said. Go down your ass. The white tiger must have set something up here so that we can't fly. Little Roar said. Little Roar turned around and looked. Sima Yuyue had pulled back most of the people, but there were still people chasing after them. Seeing that they were about to catch up, it was too late for them to turn around now. Jump. Little Black said. It's so high, even if you don't fall half to death, you'll still be crippled. Little Roar roared. Little Black came out from Mo Yusheng's body and appeared behind them. Then, it kicked Little Roar's butt. F*CKU, big black dog, just you wait. Little Roar's unwilling voice came from below, slowly becoming softer. Little Black turned around to look at the people who were chasing after them. Its body turned into a black fog and quickly flew towards them, enveloping them all in the black fog. By the time he left, all that was left of those people were a pile of bones. After dealing with the first batch of people, the black fog slowly slid down the cliff. Little Roar brought Mo Yu down. Since he couldn't fly, he could only watch helplessly as he fell to the ground. When Mo Yusheng fell, he fell off his back. If he fell to the ground like this, he would definitely turn into a pile of meat paste. If he died, how was he going to contract the white tiger? He swung his legs in the air, and for the first time, he felt that his short legs were in the way. He tried his best to get closer to Mo Yusheng. Seeing that he was about to fall to the ground, Mo Yusheng hugged him tightly and turned his back down, preparing to be his meat cushion. The pain that he expected did not come. The moment before he fell, he felt some kind of force dragging him up. When he landed again, it did not have the same force as before. Nothing happened. He let go of Mo Yusheng and climbed up from the ground. He waved his claws and shook his butt. There was really no injury at all. Little Black followed the cliff and appeared at the bottom. Seeing Little Roar like this, he was extremely disgusted. He looked at Mo Yusheng and said, "There are more and more people coming from outside. You can't hold on any longer. She will definitely use lightning tribulation later. You should hurry up and contract it, then leave this place." "Where is the white tiger?" Little Roar asked Mo Yusheng. Mo Yusheng pointed at the cave behind him. "Let's go in. Come up quickly." Mo Yusheng knew that time was tight. He climbed onto Little Roar's back and prepared to enter the cave. However, he found that they were blocked by a force. "We can't go in." Little Roar extended his claws and poked at the barrier in front of him. Little Black tried, but he was also blocked outside. Thus, he said to Mo Yusheng, "You try." Mo Yusheng slid down from Little Roar's back and arrived in front of the cave. He did not dare to go in. "You're a man. What are you afraid of? Go." Little Roar's claws slapped his back. He subconsciously staggered forward and then went in just like that. Little Black and Little Roar were not surprised. They said to him, "Since only you can go in, then you can only go in by yourself. Go, it's waiting for you inside." Mo Yusheng was still a little scared. "Little guy, what are you still standing there for? Go quickly. You can't hold on any longer. If you're late, how are you going to help her? Not only will you not be able to help her, you won't even be able to see her one last time before she dies." Little Roar roared. When Mo Yusheng heard that Sima Yuyue was going to die, his body trembled. He did not care about how scary the cave was as he turned around and ran inside. "This guy really won't stop." Little Roar shouted. "You stay here and guard. I'll go help you." Little Black said. "Why do you want me to stay here and guard? I want to go too." Little Roar protested. "Can you climb up?" Little Black gave him a look. It was a look of pure, undisguised contempt. "You." Little Roar went up to bite him. He had already turned into a black fog and climbed up the cliff. "You big black dog, just you wait. I'll deal with you later." That kick just now and the contempt now, he wanted to get back at him. Little Black returned to the cliff and saw that Sima Yuyue had already called out all the beasts and the remaining ancient war souls. However, the other party had also sent reinforcements. At a glance, it was a black mass. It seemed that other than the 4 great fierce beasts, most of the people from the 4 palaces had come. That's good too. I'll just cut off the 4 great fierce beasts' wings first. There are too many of them. We can't hold on any longer. Little Seven shouted. Sima Yuyue wiped the blood from the corner of her lips. She looked at those people and laughed coldly. "Just nice that I haven't advanced to monarch yet. I'll let you all advance with me. All of you, protect me." All the beasts knew that she was planning to advance at this moment. Hence, they all came to her side and protected her in the center, giving her time and space to advance. Sima Yuyue released all the energy that she had suppressed previously. As she had already prepared for a long time, everything went smoothly. Not long later, she was enveloped by the light of her advancement. She has advanced to monarch. Those people saw the light of her advancement and shouted. Don't bother about her. The white tiger hasn't contracted yet. Go and find the white tiger's contractor first. Yes, Palace Master. Palace Master? Sima Yuyue looked at the symbol of Tao Tai Palace on his body and laughed. Just nice. You all don't have to go. Stay here and accompany me. Chapter 2302. The tribulation clouds in the sky came very quickly. In just a few minutes, the sky turned dark and the day turned into night. Fortunately, there were no spiritual beasts in this mountain and there were no people nearby. Otherwise, they would have to go through the tribulation with her. Sima Yuyue flew in the sky and raised her head to look at the dark tribulation clouds. She secretly thought that these people were really powerful. Otherwise, they would not have been able to upgrade her tribulation to this extent. It was almost as strong as the lightning tribulation that her maternal grandfather had experienced. Back then, her grandfather's tribulation was because he went against the heavenly Tao's restriction and advanced. The heavenly Tao wanted to kill him. That was why the tribulation was so powerful. But she was different. Her soul had the aura of the primal chaos world and she had been consuming the primal chaos river for a long time. When she advanced, she did not feel any obstruction from the heavenly Tao. Therefore, this tribulation was just an ordinary tribulation. But such an ordinary tribulation was enough to raise the strength of the people who were supposed to go through the tribulation together. Those people felt that they were targeted by the tribulation lightning and panicked. Don't bother about the tribulation lightning. Go find the contractor of White Tiger. Even if we die today, we have to kill him. Tao Tai Palace Master shouted. If the contractor of White Tiger did not die today, their family members would die. They were going through the tribulation here. It was okay if they died, but they could not implicate their family members. Therefore, many people did not bother about the tribulation lightning and ran towards the mountain top. Little Purple, Little Flame, stop them. Sima Yuyue shouted and attacked those people. With a wave of Little Purple's claws, a flash of lightning appeared. Xiaohua directly turned into a line of fire and swept forward. Those who were struck by Little Purple's lightning or touched by Xiaohua lost their lives on the spot. But there were too many of them. Some people still rushed to the mountain top. There is a flying restriction here. We can't go down. Then jump down. We have to think of a way to go down. Therefore, they thought of all kinds of ways to go down. Some jumped down directly, some pulled others along and prepared to let others be their scapegoat. Some called out their flying beasts and called for a large group of people to go down together. Seeing that they were about to fly down the cliff, Sima Yuyue shouted, Cloud Spirit. The Cloud Spirit was still brewing because it sensed that someone else was coming. However, Sima Yuyue couldn't wait any longer, so it had to release the lightning bolts. Lightning bolts fell from the sky, and one of them landed on the flying beast at the edge of the cliff. The flying beast and the person on its back were burnt to a crisp. When the lightning tribulation began, Sima Yuyue recalled her beasts into her spirit pagoda. She walked to the edge of the cliff and jumped down with her eyes closed. Her body was quite strong, so she might not die if she jumped down. Furthermore, Little Roar was waiting for her below. When Little Roar saw Sima Yuyue coming down, he released a gentle force to support her, allowing her to land safely on the ground. Yu, we can't enter from here. Little Roar pointed at the cave and said. If I can't get in, then I'll guard here. You can go back first. She kept Little Roar back into the spirit pagoda and stood outside the cave. As long as she saw someone coming down, she would attack first. After that, some people came from the back of the mountain. It seemed like they knew that the path at the top of the mountain would not work, so they took a detour. Sima Yuyue didn't need to care about the power of the lightning tribulation. She only needed to focus on dealing with those people. There were many people from the other side. Luckily, there was the help of the lightning tribulation. She was able to stop them from getting close to the cave. The battle outside was in full swing, but the inside of the cave was not affected at all. This cave was not very deep, and Mo Yusheng walked for a while before reaching the innermost part. A little white cat was lying on the straw in the cave, as if it was sleeping. Mo Yusheng wasn't afraid. He walked over and patted the white tiger's head, saying, "Are you the white tiger? Are you the one who summoned me?" The white tiger gently lifted its eyelids. When it saw Mo Yusheng's pure eyes, it howled at him. Aren't you the white tiger? Master said that the white tiger is very powerful, but you look like a kitten. Mo Yusheng raised the white tiger in confusion and looked at it seriously. The white tiger didn't care about his silly look. It turned its head and bit his finger. Mo Yusheng felt the pain on his finger and subconsciously threw the white tiger to the ground. The white tiger crawled up from the ground and touched its lips with its claws. It was stained with Mo Yusheng's blood. It watched as the blood flowed from its fur into its body. It felt that the power in its body had been swept away, and it felt comfortable all over. Roar! It roared towards the sky, and its voice shook the heavens. Mo Yusheng was close to it, and was immediately shaken to the point of dizziness. For a moment, he couldn't even remember where he was and what he was doing. Therefore, he didn't know how the white tiger contracted with him. When he felt the connection with the white tiger, he knew that they had already become one. The power of the contract flowed through his body, and he felt that every part of his body was in pain. It wasn't because of the contract, but because something hidden in his body was about to break out. Ah! A painful cry came from the cave, followed by the sound of running and roaring. Sima Yuyue turned around and saw a white spirit beast carrying a person out of the cave. Yusheng! She shouted, but Mo Yusheng's mind was no longer clear. He didn't hear her voice at all, nor did he notice her. Roar! The white tiger stood at the entrance of the cave and roared at the people rushing over. The power contained in the roar stunned them, and then it flew into the sky with Mo Yusheng. Pa! A bolt of tribulation lightning struck Mo Yusheng's body, scaring Sima Yuyue into holding her breath. How could his weak body withstand this kind of tribulation lightning? Seeing that the white tiger was still alive, she let out a sigh of relief. At least Mo Yusheng was still alive. Pa! Another bolt of tribulation lightning struck Mo Yusheng's body. Mo Yusheng, who was lying on the white tiger's body, suddenly stood up with purple flames burning around his body. This is soul fire? Sima Yuyue looked at the flames on Mo Yusheng's body in shock. Seeing that someone was about to attack him, she immediately condensed her spirit energy and attacked those people. Mo Yusheng, who was standing in the air, had his eyes closed. His hands were hanging down naturally, as if he had fallen into a deep sleep. The purple flames made his pure aura become enchanting, and his entire person seemed to have changed. Yusheng! She shouted in a daze. Mo Yusheng actually opened his eyes, but they were no longer as clear and clean as before. Instead, there was a sense of dignity and charm. The soul fire on his body burned fiercely, forming a protective circle that blocked the tribulation lightning outside. Chapter 2303. Master, I remember now. Mo Yusheng retracted the flames on his body and flew to Sima Yuyue's side. He stretched out his hand and said with a smile, Master, where's my master's gift? Sima Yuyue, she slapped his hand away and said, Why are you still like this at a time like this? Let's get down to business first. There were so many enemies here and there was lightning tribulation above their heads, yet this person still had the mood to talk to her about this. Mo Yusheng retracted his hand and didn't get angry. He curled his lips and said, Master, you said it yourself. When I'm normal, you'll give me an official master's gift. Aren't you mentally handicapped? You still remember this? Mentally handicapped doesn't mean I don't have memories. I remember everything Master said to me. Mo Yusheng smiled like before and still looked silly. Let's talk about this after we pass this tribulation. Stay by White Tiger's side. Sima Yuyue casually set up a protective circle to protect him and then used her spiritual power to attack the people who came. Mo Yusheng looked at the protective circle and laughed silently. Master still thinks I'm that Yusheng from before? After living for 2 lifetimes, this is the first time I've been treated like this. This feeling is really special. He smiled and shook his head. Unfortunately, now is not the time. Otherwise, I can really tease Master. It's best to let Grandmaster watch and make him raise his eyebrows at me. He took a step forward and walked out of Sima Yoyue's protective circle. At the same time, his body ignited with purple flames again, and those flames blocked the lightning tribulation outside. One lightning tribulation was useless to them and the other was used to being struck by lightning. With Little Purple's protection, this lightning tribulation was also useless to her. Thus, the following scene was the 2 of them activating their berserk mode under the protection of the lightning tribulation, leaving all the people who came to assassinate them here. White Tiger was also struck a few times, but it seemed that he went to look for it himself. Sima Yuyue only stopped after the lightning tribulation had struck most of the people and left. She called out the beasts and asked them to deal with the last hit. For those who were not completely dead, they would go up and give them a stab so that they would not cause trouble for them when they went back. She and Mo Yusheng returned to the cave and casually found a place to sit down. I really didn't expect you to be so powerful. Sima Yuyue looked at Mo Yusheng and said, "What's up with you, the person undergoing the tribulation? Didn't you reincarnate? How can there still be so much power in his body? This is my body to begin with." Mo Yusheng said, "When I transcended the tribulation, my body became smaller and I appeared in the Mo dynasty's palace." The real Mo Yusheng died, and in order not to lose her favor, she secretly had people bury the dead prince, making me the 7th prince. So, this body of yours is not only 16 or 17 years old? Sima Yuyue looked at him and could not help but sigh. "Master, why are you sighing? I thought he was a young hunk. Who knew that he was already an old piece of bacon?" Sima Yuyue shook her head and said seriously. The corner of Mo Yusheng's mouth twitched. He was elegant, and in his prime. How did he look like an old piece of cured meat? Then what's your true identity? Sima Yuyue asked. "I'm not from your region." Mo Yusheng's words were shocking. "Not one of us?" "That's right." Mo Yusheng nodded. "I'm the Pill Emperor of my region. I don't know how I became the one undergoing the tribulation. Now, this place has become the White Tiger's contractor." "You're the Pill Emperor? No wonder you're so interested in alchemy." Sima Yuyue said, "I really didn't expect that I would become the Pill Emperor's master one day." "Master, your alchemy skills are really amazing. When this matter is over, you have to teach me alchemy properly. You can't fool me like before." Mo Yusheng said. "You've already recovered your identity and strength, and you still want me to be your master?" Sima Yuyue raised her brows. "You've been my master for more than a year. I haven't learned anything." Mo Yusheng said. "When this matter is over, won't you go back? We'll talk about it when the time comes. Anyway, I don't have anything to worry about over there. When I want to go back, I'll go back." Mo Yusheng said casually, "When the time comes, I'll bring you to our side to take a look." "All right." Sima Yuyue replied. "Right, since you've already recovered your intelligence, do you want to go back and take a look before you leave?" Mo Yusheng hesitated for a moment and said, "I'll go back and see 6th royal brother." No matter what the others were like, he was still grateful for the care they gave him all these years. At this time, a white figure appeared at the entrance of the cave. It was the White Tiger in human form. "You're the Vermilion Bird's contractor." White Tiger looked at Sima Yuyue and sized her up. He praised, "You're not bad." "White Tiger, how are you?" Sima Yuyue stood up and looked at him. She had seen him get struck a few times during the battle. She didn't know if his body could take it. "I've suffered some injuries, but I'm fine." White Tiger said, "Also, my name is White Emperor." "Oh. White Emperor. This name was really domineering. You intentionally went to receive the tribulation lightning, right?" N. There's a heavenly Tao seal in my body. Part of it depends on the contractor's blood, while the other part depends on the lightning tribulation. White Emperor explained, without removing the seal, I can't do anything. You've been sealed by the heavenly Tao? No wonder I couldn't divine where you were even when I used Black Tortoise's shell. Sima Yue understood. This made sense. She actually wanted to ask him why he was sealed by the heavenly Tao. However, since they weren't familiar with each other, it wouldn't be good for her to ask. They rested in the cave for a while. The rest of the people came over. Although everyone was injured, at least they were still alive. My goodness, the entire cliff is filled with corpses. You guys can still sit here and chat? Black Tortoise complained as soon as he came in. When he saw White Tiger, he went up and hugged him. He patted him on the shoulder and cried, White Emperor, do you know how hard we've been looking for you? We almost lost our lives because of you. It's not like I wanted it. White Emperor was helpless. However, if it wasn't for the heavenly Tao sealing me, I wouldn't have survived for so long in this place. Fortunately, I learned divination. Otherwise, I don't know how long it would take to find you. Fushi glanced at White Emperor. His tone was indifferent. It was obvious that he was angry with White Emperor. Let's hurry up and get rid of the corpses here. It's not good for people to see a pile of corpses outside. Qi Yan said. Alright, since the four of us haven't seen each other for a long time, let's go and see who's stronger now. Black Tortoise agreed. Chapter 2304. Bai Xiaofei looked at Mo Yusheng and saw that his aura was different from before. Did the contract make his mind mature? It's not that his mind has matured, he's regained his previous identity. Sima Yue told him about Mo Yusheng. Bai Xiaofei clicked his tongue in wonder. Sima Yue called Wen Shi and Bai Yuyan out of the spirit pagoda. Wen Shi reacted and rushed to Bai Xiaofei's side. How is it? Are you guys okay? Where are those people? Don't be nervous. The battle is over. Bai Xiaofei held her hand and said, we're all fine. Don't worry. Hug. Bai Yuyan ran to Mo Yusheng and opened her small arms. The previous Mo Yusheng was as clean as a piece of white paper and treated Bai Yuyan very well. Therefore, other than her parents, Bai Yuyan liked him the most. In these 2 years, his relationship with Bai Yuyan was very close and he often hugged her to play. Bai Yuyan did not know what happened just now. This kind of danger, to a young girl like her, was completely incomprehensible. She did not even know that they were not in the same place as they were now. In her little world, there was no difference between the present and the past. Therefore, she did not feel that Mo Yusheng was any different from before. The moment he came out, he asked for a hug. Mo Yusheng laughed and carried Bai Yuyan up with his long arms. He pinched her nose like before and teased her. After teasing her for a while, he returned Bai Yuyan to Wen Shi. Then, he came to Sima Yue's side and smiled at her. What? Sima Yue was circulating her energy to heal her injuries. Being stared at by him like this, she could not endure it any longer. Master, you said before that you would give me a gift for becoming your disciple. Just now, you said that business was more important. Now that it's over, shouldn't you give me a gift for becoming my disciple? Mo Yusheng said. I say, you're a pill emperor. In your place, you're a tyrant. Why do you keep thinking about my gift for becoming your disciple? Sima Yue was speechless. That familiar face was no longer as silly as before. She was happy for him, but she missed the silly him from before. She took out a spatial ring and threw it at him, saying faintly, I'll give it to you. Don't disturb me from recuperating. It's all because of you that I ended up like this. Why don't you be quiet? Mo Yusheng sent his divine sense into the interspatial ring. When he saw the treasures piled up inside, he smiled and said, Master, recuperate well. Disciple will be quiet now and won't disturb you. He put away the spatial ring and didn't pay much attention to its contents. His insistence was only to maintain their relationship, not because he wanted her things. When her spiritual power was almost fully recovered, the 4 great godly beasts returned along with Sima Yoyue's beasts. This meant that they had cleaned up all the corpses in the valley. Now, everyone was present. The 4 great mythological beasts have all returned. We can go find Tao Tai and the others to settle accounts, Fushi said. It is indeed time to go back and take revenge. The black tortoise knocked on its shell. If it did not take revenge, it would be too old to walk. Don't worry. Everyone is injured. Let's recuperate first before going back. Crimson Flame said. If the 4 of them went back, as long as they appeared in the divine realm, the 4 great beasts would be able to sense their aura and would come to kill them immediately. If they went back with injuries like this, it was tantamount to courting death. Then you guys recuperate here. I'll go back. Mo Yusheng said. Then let's go back to that courtyard to recuperate. Sima Yue suggested. All right. They were all injured this time, so it was good to find a place to recuperate. Thus, Sima Yue set up a teleportation array and directly returned to the imperial capital. Mo Yusheng thought that he would never see Mo Yusheng again, but he didn't expect to see him again during his most difficult time. 2 years later, the imperial capital was already different from 2 years ago. The first prince was crippled by the emperor in the battle. Now, only the 4th prince and the 6th prince were fighting fiercely. Especially recently, both sides had reached a white-hot stage. These 2 days, the emperor's health was not good and he fell into a coma. The 4th prince slandered the 6th prince for poisoning the emperor and brought people to kill him in the prince's palace. As long as he killed the 6th prince, he would be the emperor. He had already investigated in these 2 years. Mo Yusheng and that woman had already left, so he didn't need to worry about anyone protecting him. Mo Yusheng and Mo Yusheng looked at each other, both unwilling to admit defeat. Mo Yusheng, do you really think that the connections you've accumulated in these 3 years can compare to the connections I've built for more than 10 years? 2 years ago, I only left you to deal with the first prince. Otherwise, do you think you could have lived until now? Mo Yusheng looked at Mo Yusheng as if she was giving alms. Mo Yusheng also knew that there was a certain gap between the 2 sides, but if it wasn't for one of his factions suddenly changing sides, he wouldn't be in such a passive position. As long as I kill you, everything will be over. Look, your people are pretty much all dead. Since we're brothers, I'll give you a chance to kill yourself and die more easily. Mo Yusheng said. Mo Yusheng coldly snorted, even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Then let's see if you have the strength. Mo Yusheng said as she was about to make a move. When Mo Yusheng came over, he saw this scene. There were corpses all over the ground and Mo Yusheng was standing in the middle. His body swayed and was about to fall. 4th brother, you don't need to do this if you want to usurp the throne, right? Mo Yusheng's voice sounded, shocking everyone in the courtyard. They followed the voice and saw that Mo Yusheng had appeared on the roof at an unknown time. Mo Yusheng, you're not dead yet? Mo Yusheng saw him and subconsciously looked around. My master is busy and doesn't have time to play with you. Mo Yusheng flew to Mo Yusheng's side and said, 6th brother, are you okay? I won't die yet. Mo Yusheng smiled at him. Hearing that Sima Yue didn't come, Mo Yusheng let out a sigh of relief. She stared at Mo Yusheng and said, Mo Yusheng, you're not stupid anymore. Mo Yusheng saw the injuries on Mo Yusheng's body and his eyes darkened as he said, 4th brother, since we're brothers, I'll give you a chance to kill yourself so that you can die more easily. Ha 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 ha, Mo Yusheng, you're too naive. You 2 trash have always had a good relationship. Since you've sent yourself to die, then I'll help you. Mo Yusheng said as she condensed spirit energy to attack Mo Yusheng. However, Mo Yusheng waved his hand and sent it flying. You have the nerve to attack with your little strength? Let your people come, trash. Mo Yusheng coldly snorted. Mo Yusher was shocked by Mo Yushing's move and shouted to the people behind him, "Quick, kill him for me." You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.